78 Fight News here with the brother Brian. What's up, bro?
What's up, 78?
Man, post-fight vid to UFC 154. Let's talk about GSP versus Carlos Condit. It was an exciting fight, went the distance. GSP pretty much controlled Carlos Condit, taking him down at will. I think he was like 6 for 6, 7 for 7 or some shit in takedown attempts. And then Carlos Condit hurt GSP. I believe it was the third round with a kick to the head and swole GSP up a little bit. And you know, I kind of thought the fight might be over. But what was your take on the fight?
My take on the fight was, first of all, one thing I noticed about Carlos Condit, unlike, I guess if you look at the Nick Diaz fight too, he kind of fought like this, but he was a little bit more, a little bit more aggressive in the Diaz fight. But when I was watching this fight, he was just circling around. He wasn't throwing too many, he would throw like one or two combination strikes, and then he would just like move around, circle around, back up. And the one thing that you don't want to do against a great wrestler like GSP is back up against the cage, and he just looked timid in the fight.
Yeah, he did.
And GSP, he was more assertive with his strikes and his striking the grappling and grappling the striking. He was being more aggressive, establishing the pace of the fight. He got him to the cage and he just took him down at will. Now in that third round, Carlos Condit threw like a looping lie, telegraph overhand right that wasn't going nowhere, and then he came over kind of like Bobby Weaving, kind of feeling like Tyson, and then he threw like that
right.
The lead leg kick to the head, kind of on the grazing on the temple into the
forehead,
top of the head. The forehead, and he dropped him. And I thought, man, that was the time. That was the time where he should just start, and he did. He tried to throw punches and strikes. He tried to get in the guard and everything, and try to throw some punches. But GSP being the champ he was, he just bounced out of that. And he just defended himself correctly and ended up on reverse. I think either sweeping him. I gotta look at the fight again, but he either reversed him or got back on the feet and then took him down himself. And that was the first time I ever seen GSP on his back, to be honest, man.
That was the first time. That was the first time I ever see. To me, GSP showed a lot of heart in this fight. I was impressed by his heart that he showed in coming back from that, because GSP came into this fight with an attitude of, I have to look impressive. I missed MMA. I'm coming in here to destroy Carlos Condit, and Condit really let me down because he was fighting, like you say, timid. Especially in that first round, I'm like, what the fuck is this? GSP just knocked this dude out, man. You know what I was thinking about the whole time I'm watching Carlos Condit fight? All right, GSP just came back from knee surgery. I'm thinking of the Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid from the 80s. Remember when Sensei John Kreese told Johnny, sweep the leg? Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that, Mr. Lawrence? That's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, why the fuck aren't you attacking this man's leg? Fuck all that, trying to be a nice guy and shit. The man just came back from knee surgery, and you sitting here letting him have his way with you and shit. I would have got desperate and went for his leg. There's no rules in that shit. But GSP fought well, and right now, I don't see a better wrestler in MMA, or in the UFC, I should say, than GSP, man. I really just can't see it, man. The man is taking down his opponents at will. I was impressed. Carlos Condit couldn't do shit with him on the ground, man. He had a lot of reversals and shit like that, but GSP constantly got the advantage whenever Condit grappled with him. And when they stood up, Condit didn't let his hands go.
He didn't let his hands or his feet go. When he did, he was throwing some stupid wide telegraph, like flying knees. He wasn't even setting up none of these strikes. He wasn't even countered. It was really, Carlos Condit looked really, not only did he look timid, but he looked very sloppy and very just. He was not sharp like he was, for previous fights to Nick Diaz, because he did the same thing with Nick Diaz. But at least in the Nick Diaz fight, and I still believe Diaz won that fight. But even in that fight, he was actually being sharp and trying to counter, and he didn't go for the inside leg kick at all to GSP's left leg, which has the ACL damage. I mean, he didn't do none of that. And like you said, I mean, in kickboxing, like you said, I mean, there's a technique, sweeping the leg, like you said. He could have gone for that. I mean, he's throwing all these, telegraph strikes, like the spinning back kick where he doesn't set it up, he just throws it.
Yeah.
The kicks to the head, all these strikes, man. He just, it was like, man, what are you doing? He didn't, and on the ground, GSP, I mean, there ain't nobody better right now in MMA, not just the UFC, MMA period, that I've seen that can actually, that controls that if he's on top, he controls you at will, like on the ground,
right,
in the top position, and inside your guard, like GSP. He's just really good at that. And you saw a lot of them reversals that Carlos Condit was trying to do. Carlos Condit just got stifled. He reversed them one time, but every other time, those reversals were just stifled. And that was just perfect, just textbook grappling by GSP, denying the hips. He tried to bridge out the cage. He usually, that type of stuff is just, that right there is not only talent, but that's just, years of training right there. I'll give Carlos credit for one, he didn't get finished on the ground, and he did deny the full amount, at least. That's what he did deny, because he kept it from, and he even kept it from being a half guard, to half guard, because he didn't allow him to get the side control. But outside of that, GSP, outside of that little flurry, he dominated the fight. It was a good fight, and GSP showed some heart, but GSP, for the most part, had this fight.
Absolutely. And yay. Well, 78 Fight News, the brother Gambit. We'll got some more MMA coming up for y'all in the future, man. Let me know what y'all thought of the fight. What you think of the potential of GSP versus Anderson Silva? Holla.